So you are very welcome to this afternoon's class. It's midweek and it's midday, so I'm thinking we should have a little bit of gas in the tank. I will do a nice cool down and shavasana towards the end. We'll hold the postures for a little bit longer, but to begin I really just want to energize the body, get the blood flowing, and work a little bit also on our balance. It's really good to do balancing poses throughout the day. It just helps you come off the mat with a little bit of a clearer focus. So to begin, we'll start with the feet about a fist, maybe 2 fists apart, and you're coming into Tadasana mountain pose. So you're grounding up through the heels of the feet and you're allowing yourself to stand really tall. Now shoulders drop away from the ears, and imagine as though you're trying to plug each corner of the feet, each 4 corners, into the mat. You should feel a little bit of a space in the arch of your foot. Lifting up the knees and pushing the pelvis just slightly to the front edge of the mat. Eyes can be closed, gazing inwards, and just taking a few moments to consciously deepen our breath. Allow us to be a little bit more focused before we begin to move. So throughout the poses, if you can make a conscious effort to stay breathing, even as we come in and out of challenging poses, the first thing that we compromise is our breath. What we're aiming to do is maintain that constant flow of energy even throughout challenging circumstances, poses, scenarios. It allows us to practice yoga both on and off of the mat. Just flickering the eyes open here, coming back into a bit more of presence. Take an inhale and allow the arms to sweep up, and the gaze comes up and the hands come together in prayer. Now just pushing the pelvis to the front of the mat, take a very gentle back bend. You'll feel the weight evenly distributed throughout the feet and ground down through the big toe mounts of the feet. Now as you exhale, allow yourself to fold forward and hinge from the hips, taking a halfway lift on the inhale with a flat back and a forward gaze. Exhale, take the right and the left hand to the mat. Take the left foot back and the right foot back. Drop the knees and untuck the toes. Slowly exhale, bringing the chin, the chest towards the mat. And as you inhale, sweep yourselves up for low cobra. Exhale, bring yourself back to the mat. Tuck the toes. Sit bones back towards the heels and up towards the ceiling. We're coming into our first downward facing dog. So we'll take 5 breaths here, keeping a generous bend in the knees if you need to. And just allowing the shoulders to drop away from the ears as the armpits wrap in towards each other. Belly button draws in towards the spine and you're gazing back between the thighs. Now take a generous bend in the knees and you can walk, step or float to the top of your mat. On an inhale, take a halfway lift, flat back, forward gaze, and exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, slowly allow the hands to reach up. The head, neck and chest are last to lift, and when they do, the gaze comes up and the hands come together in prayer, and we exhale, fold forward, hinge from the hips once more. On an inhale, take a halfway lift, flat back, forward gaze. And as you exhale, take the hands to the mat, left foot back, right foot back, drop the knees and tuck the toes, wrapping the beach ball with your arms, triceps come in towards you. Exhale, bringing the chin, the chest to the mat, and as you inhale, sweep up for low cobra. Exhale, bring you back to the mat, tuck the toes, sit bones back, sit bones up towards the ceiling, downward facing dog. And using our down dog as our restorative pose. So even though it is quite active, just use this as a chance to ground down into your breath and just find that slow and steady breathing sequence. We'll take another generous bend in the knees, gaze forward, lightly landing. Inhale brings you up. Exhale folds you down. And as you inhale, slowly unravel, stacking the spine, allow the arms to come up and the gaze is coming up at the hands. And as you exhale, we'll come back straight away into a forward fold and start to move a little bit more intuitively here. So as you inhale, take a halfway lift, flat back, forward gaze. and exhale, fold forward. The sequence will start to become a little bit more familiar, and you'll just be able to move a little bit more fluidly and at your own pace. Exhale, bring you back to the mat, tuck the toes, sit bones back, sit bones up, downward facing dog. And at any point, if you get confused or you need to go a little bit slower or faster, just knowing that we'll always meet back in a downward facing dog. Just allows you to take it at your own pace. Now we'll bend the knees once more, gaze between the hands. The option is to walk up to the hands, or maybe taking a light hop, whichever suits you today. Inhale halfway, exhale fold. Inhale, slowly reach the arms up, the gaze is coming up, the hands come together in prayer, and as you exhale, fold forward once again, hinge from the hips. Inhale halfway, flat back, forward gaze. Exhale, hands to the mat. Now we can step the feet back, or we can take a jump back to high plank. We'll drop the knees and tuck the toes. Exhale, take the elbows towards the body, and inhale, sweeping up the collarbones for low cobra. Exhale, bring you back, tuck the toes, sit bones back, sit bones up towards the ceiling, down dog. And knowing in your down dog, if you need to keep that bend in the knees, please do. Might be your first down dog of the day, so the hamstrings might be a little bit tighter. Just make sure wherever you are, you're breathing and you're allowing your forehead to be really soft, your jaw to be soft, and the shoulders, just taking away any tension and allow them to rest easy. Generous bend in the knees, lightly landing. Inhale brings us up. Exhale folds us down. And we'll go one more sun salutation A. Inhale, allow the arms to sweep up and the gaze comes up, the hands are together in prayer. Now as you exhale, fold forward and hinge from the hips. On an inhale, take a halfway lift, flat back, forward gaze, and exhale, hands to the mat. Option is yours to walk, step or float. Back to the mat, drop the knees and tuck the toes. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down, and as you inhale, sweep yourselves up. Exhale to the mat, tuck the toes, sit bones back, sit bones up, downward facing dog. Hopefully we're feeling a little bit more warm. The energy is starting to flow. We'll bend the knees, we'll lightly land at the top of our mat. On an inhale, take a halfway lift, flat back, forward gaze. Exhale, folds you forward. And as you inhale, slowly allow the arms to come up, reaching up, spine is long, gazing up. As you exhale, take the hands into heart center. Okay, so just a really nice way to get the blood flowing, get the energy up, particularly during the day. We'll come into our sun salutation B. So same again, we're working to create some energy and just build up strength in the legs and in the arms. Now the feet can be about a fist apart, maybe 2 fists, or you can have your big toes touching and the heels slightly apart. Now on an inhale, sweep the arms in line with the ears, and as you exhale, take the knees in towards each other and the sit bones in line with the knees. Now if you gaze down, you should still be able to see your big toes and length in the spine here, so gently tucking the pelvis in. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper and knit everything inwards. We're really engaging the core, the quads, the glutes, the arms in line with the ears. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper and take the hands together in prayer. As you exhale, you'll fold forward and you'll hinge from the hips. Once again, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, flat back, forward gaze. Exhale, fold you forward. Option to walk, step or float. Back to the mat, drop the knees and tuck the toes. Exhale, chin, chest to the mat, and inhale, sweeping up. Exhale brings you down, tuck the toes. Sit bones back, sit bones up towards the ceiling. We'll pivot the left foot 45 degrees and taking the right foot in between the hands, making sure the hips are in line with the front edge of the mat. On an inhale, sweep the arms up and allow the palms to come together. Exhale, sink a little bit more deeply into that right leg, and maybe the gaze is slightly up. Now as you exhale, we'll frame that right foot and coming back down, knees, chest, chin, or your chaturanga if it's in your practice. Inhale brings you up for low cobra, and exhale brings you back, downward facing dog. The opposite side, pivot the right foot and take the left foot in between, flat back, forward gaze. Inhale, sweep the arms in line with the ears, sinking deep into that left knee, making sure it's over the ankle, and maybe the gaze is looking up. Exhale, framing the foot. Take the left foot back to meet the right, drop the knees and tuck the toes. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And downward facing dog. Okay, I hope everyone is still with me. We'll take a generous bend in the knees, landing lightly. Now on an inhale, we're coming into our halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. But this time we're bending the knees and we're taking them in line with the sit bones. We're bringing the arms back in line with the ears, coming into Utkatasana chair pose, breathing, lengthen the spine. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, slowly come back to center. Okay, so the blood is definitely flowing a little bit more. We'll take another round of sun salutations and then we'll come into our standing poses. So the big toes are touching, heels are apart, elbows drawing forward, or collarbones drawing forward even. From here, inhale, sweep the arms in line with the ears. And as you exhale, take the knees and the sit bones in line. Make sure you can still see the toes, length in the spine. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper and holding here. Knowing wherever you are, whatever pose you're in, you're breathing. Staying with the breath. Filling up the lungs with our inhales. Exhale, hands come into heart center and we fold forward. We hinge from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, forward gaze. Exhale, fold you forward, walk, step or jump. Back to high plank, drop the knees and tuck the toes. Exhale, lower. Inhale, brings you up. Exhale, brings you back. From our down dog, we'll pivot the left foot. We'll take the right foot in between the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms in line with the ears. Slight back bend here as the palms come together and the gaze comes up. Framing the right foot. Right foot comes back to meet the left and we slowly exhale to the mat and inhale up for low cobra. Exhale back, tuck the toes, sit bones back, sit bones up. And pivoting the right foot, we'll take the left in between the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms in line with the ears and exhale, gaze is coming up. Framing the left foot, we'll take it back to meet the right, drop the knees and tuck the toes. Exhale, slowly lower and inhale, bring you up for one last low cobra. Exhale, back to the mat, tuck the toes, sit bones back, sit bones up towards the ceiling and holding here, we'll take 3 breaths. In and out of the nose. Just allow yourself to find a little bit more calm. We'll slow down the breath. And when we're ready, we'll slowly walk our feet, up to our hands. Take a wide-legged forward fold. Now the feet again are about a fist, maybe 2 fists apart, and you're really mounting into that big toe. Taking the 2 peace fingers, wrapping them around the big toe, grounding them into the mat. As you exhale, take the elbows away from each other as you bend into the elbows and take the forehead towards the knees. Now you'll start to feel a really nice sensation of length up the back of the legs, but keep that micro bend if you need to. Sometimes you know what your body needs and what it doesn't, so just taking from the poses whatever serves you best today. See if you can take the sit bones up towards the ceiling, maybe a little bit more, forehead towards the knees. And as you inhale, take the hands away in front of the feet. Take your halfway lift, flat back, forward gaze. Exhale, take the palms back down to the mat, just slight bend in the knees. And as you inhale, we'll slowly unravel the spine. The hands will come away from the body. Once again, gaze is coming up, hands come together in prayer. And we exhale into heart center. Okay, I definitely have a little bit more energy going now. So from here, coming into our balancing poses, again, just take these at your own pace. We'll build on them. So we'll start off with our tree pose, and then from there we'll work on to something a little bit more difficult, okay? So from here, you're taking the feet about the 2 fists apart, and again, you're really grounding up through the 4 corners of your feet. Now start to become a little bit heavier on the left foot and a little bit lighter on the right, okay? So you're slowly taking the right sole of the foot onto the ankle, maybe the shin, or maybe the inside of the left thigh. You just never want it to be on the inside of your knee. Now the sole of your foot is resting there and the knee is coming to the back edge of the mat. You're keeping that micro bend into the left knee. Yeah, that's what's keeping you stable. Now if you find something to gaze at in front of you, it just really helps with your stability. And the hands can come into prayer in front, and take the shoulders once again away from the ears. Just let go of any tension, particularly in the jaw. And make sure you're still breathing, okay? Now maybe we're holding here for 5 breaths, or maybe we're taking the arms and we're bringing them the length up alongside the length of up alongside the ears to lengthen out the body. Just holding and breathing. Finding that sense of still and calmness, even though there's a little bit of a wobble there. Just stay with it. As you exhale, we'll take the hands into center. We'll take that right knee and we'll bring it in line with the right hip. And from here, exhale and just bring it back down towards the mat. Okay, we'll shake out the legs. Just allows them to switch on in a different capacity. So again, just grounding into the right foot this time, becoming light on the left. We'll take it onto the sole of the foot onto the right ankle. Maybe the shin, or maybe the inside of the thighs. Resting here. And take that left knee to the back of the mat because we really want to open the inside of that left hip, the left thigh. Hands come together in fair and finding your drishti, your focus. Slight micro bend in the right knee. Inhale, sweep the arms in line with the ears, if that's accessible. If not, leave them in front of the chest. Keeping that micro bend in the right knee. Length in the spine. As you exhale, take the hands together in heart center. Taking the left knee in the direction of the left hip, and we'll point out that foot. Take an inhale, roll open the chest, and exhale, will slowly come down from here. Okay, so coming back into another balancing pose, coming to the front of your mat, we have options, okay? So we're coming into a variation of Utkatasana chair pose is what we were doing. So we can take the right foot and we can bring it onto the shin, the ankle, the thigh. It's actually a little bit easier if you take the right foot and place it over the left thigh and bend from here, okay? So coming into Utkatasana chair pose from here. If you want a challenge, okay, if you want to try it, we can wrap that right leg around the left. So if you take the right, okay, and bring it take the right leg over the left thigh and wrap the right foot behind the left. You'll have to take a generous bend now into the left knee and the right knee. The hands come together in prayer, push into the palm of the hands and just roll open the chest. Now as we exhale, once again, we're taking the knees in line with the sit bones, and maybe your legs are binded, maybe they're not. If you simply have the right foot over the left, it's the same variation. We're getting all of the benefits from the pose. It's just a different modification. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper and keep that forward gaze. Now as we inhale, we'll slowly unravel. We'll take the right knee in towards the chest and we'll point out the foot, micro bend in that left leg and just grounding down through the heel. Now taking the right leg, point the foot and bringing it behind the body. We'll slowly tip from the hip and we'll bring our chest flush with the mat. Extending out the right leg. It's always a little bit harder to do this when you're talking. Well, what we want to do is try and maintain a flat back. Keep the gaze forward. Keep pointing out the foot. Maybe take the arms in line with the body. See if you can come up a little bit more. And as we exhale, we'll slowly bring it back in towards the chest. Bring the arms in line with the ears. And exhale, we'll bring it back. Okay, we'll do that again on the opposite side and then we'll build again from there, okay? I hope everyone is still with me. So same again, we have the option of doing it on the left side. So if you ground down into the right foot, you can place the left sole either on the ankle, the shin, the knee, maybe have it across. This is probably your best option, okay? Having the left foot across the right thigh, I find that easiest. If you want to hook the legs, you're taking the left leg behind the right and you're taking a generous bend into both knees and then you're hooking that left foot behind the right shin. Now the hands come together in prayer, roll back the shoulders, exhale, sinking deep into the knees in line with the sit bones, breathing in and out of the nose. Just allow yourself to be a little bit more calm here. Steadying our breath. And as we inhale, we'll slowly unravel the legs. We'll take the knee in line with the hip. We'll point that left foot. And again, we're extending the left foot behind. So I'll just change so you can see. So from here, we have a little micro bend in the right knee. We're taking the left leg, we're pointing the foot. We're bringing it behind the body and we're tipping from the hip as we take the chest forward. Now keep rolling back the shoulders, pointing out through the left leg, micro bend in the right. Exhale, lift the leg up a little bit higher and maybe take the arms in line with the ears, in line with the body. Holding here. Holding and breathing. On an inhale, we'll slowly unravel. Take the knee in line with the hip. Take the arms in line with the knees. And as we exhale, we'll bring it back down to the mat. Okay, so not an easy one. I'm actually just going to go grab some water. It'll be 2 secs. Should have had this nearby. Okay, so again, we're grounding down this time into the left foot. I think we started on the left foot. If not, we'll do it the opposite way. So grounding into the left foot, take the right, and once again, we can take it over the left thigh, or maybe we can hook the leg. Now the hands come in together in prayer, and as we exhale, we sink into our Utkatasana chair pose. You might find it a little bit easier now that we've worked on our balance. Breathing and gazing. As we inhale, we'll slowly bring the knee in line with the hip, roll back the shoulders, point out through the feet. And as we exhale, we'll tip from the hip, we'll take the chest forward, we'll point the right foot. Flat back, forward gaze. Micro bend in the left leg. Lifting it up. Maybe the hands come in line with the body. And as we exhale, leave the leg where it is, but take the hands to frame the left foot. Now keep that micro bend in the left leg if you need to. It's quite a strong practice today, okay? So we're asking a lot of the legs. The more you give yourself a little bit of a bend, the easier it is. Now as we exhale, we'll slowly take the forehead towards the knee and we'll lift up that right leg. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Lift up that right leg. And as we inhale, become heavy on the left hand. So the left hand is on the top left hand corner of the mat. And we're going to open out our hips and come into a pose called Ardha Chandrasana, which is half moon pose. So as you become a little bit heavier on the left hand, you become a little bit lighter on the right. Now we stack the right hip over the left and we allow the right arm to come up towards the ceiling. Now we roll open the chest towards the long edge of the mat. We lift and point that right foot. We gaze forward. Now if you're really, really balanced, you gaze up with the right hand, but I don't think I'm there today, so I won't try it. But I want you to try and slow and steady your breath. Breathing through the uncomfort and frustrating poses that we spoke about in the beginning. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, little bend in the left leg, and just give yourself a gentle push back into warrior. Okay, take a few breaths, well done. We'll bend into the left leg, we'll extend the arms out long, gaze over that left index finger, lift back the right, just really strong here in your warrior, don't worry, we won't stay too long. And as you exhale, slowly straighten out that left leg. And we'll come into Trikonasana triangle pose, and then we'll take it again on the opposite side. So I really hope everyone's still with me. From here, have the hips facing the long edge of the mat, okay? You can shorten out your stance a little bit, just so that it's not as wide as it usually is in your warrior two. So we're keeping the left leg straight. The right foot is directly behind the left heel. The hands are on the hips. We're extending the arms out long. Gaze over the left index finger, and as though you're shifting the weight forward to come over a speed bump. Okay, from here, find your edge. Roll back the right hip so they're still in line with the long edge of the mat, so that you're facing forward. Hips are facing this way, but we're facing this way. The palms come to face away from you. You tip from the hip so the left hand comes onto the inside of the left thigh. Open up the chest, roll back the shoulder to gaze up with the right hand, and exhale, allow yourself to sink a little bit deeper into your Trikonasana triangle. Now some people find it a lot more accessible by placing the hand on the front of the shin, and maybe that's you. So straight away you can see I'm able to come into the pose a little bit more by taking the hands onto the front of the shin as opposed to on the inside. But the gaze is up. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. And as you inhale, we'll slowly reach it up. We'll heel toe the left foot in towards the right. And we'll come through on the opposite side, okay? So last bit of balance. How are we doing for time? Last bit of balance, and then I promise we're on the mat for the rest of the practice. Okay, it's quite a strong practice, but you'll thank yourself afterwards, I promise. So from here, take the right foot to face the other end of the mat, and we're just coming through the opposite side, so a little bit of a mandala flow. We're working our way around the mat. This time, heavy on the right foot and a little bit lighter on the left. You may choose to hook the foot, or you may choose to place the left foot over the right thigh. Generous bend in the knees if you are hooking the legs. Now the hands come together in prayer. You exhale, sink deep into the sit bones, keep them in line with the knees, and just keep that forward gaze, finding something to focus on. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. We could stay here all day, but we won't. As we slowly inhale, we'll take the knee in line with the hip. Now point out that left foot, really ground into the right big toe. Point the foot and we'll take it back towards the back of the mat. We'll allow our chest to be a little bit heavier as we lift up the leg and we take it in towards the direction of the mat. Now the arms are in line with the body. Rolling back the shoulders. Little micro bend in that right leg. Lifting it up, reaching up. Whoop. And as you exhale, we'll take the hands in front of the right foot. We'll slowly lift up the left leg. We'll take the forehead towards the right knee. Slowing down our breath. Okay, it's the last Last little bit of leg work, guys. Okay, I know it's tough, but stay with me. Now the right hand is on the top right hand corner of the mat. We're stacking the left hip over the right. We're extending up that left arm. Maybe the gaze is down at the mat. Maybe the gaze is forward. And maybe it's up at that left hand. I don't want to risk it just in case. Take an inhale and a little slight micro bend in that right leg. And we'll come back into our warrior. We'll only be here for a few moments, okay? So we're gazing over that right index finger, opening out the chest, generous bend in the right knee. And slowly, we'll straighten out that right leg. Hands come onto the hips as I face the front edge of the mat. We're coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose on this side, and then we are on the mat, okay? How are we doing for time? Okay, good stuff. We'll extend the arms out long. Gaze is over that right index finger. Now as you're shifting the weight forward, the palms face away from you. You're slowly tipping from the hip. The right hand comes in, the left arm goes up. Now the hand onto the shin, you might find a little bit more accessible, but make sure you're rolling back that left hip and pushing the right hip just a little bit forward. Now the gaze can be up at the left hand. And we're holding. We're breathing and smiling. As you exhale, we'll slowly reach back to center, okay? To allow the body and the mind to come into just a bit of a state of calm after quite a challenging standing sequence, I just want you to take the feet and face them slightly towards each other and the heels away. Now the hands are on the hips here and we're coming into a forward fold. They're meant to be really calming, and they just allow you to challenge your blood circulation but slow down your breath while you do it. So when we slowly transition back up, the mind feels just a little bit more easy, a little bit more steady. Okay, so transitioning very slowly. This one takes a little bit of patience. Draw the elbows back in line with each other and you're shining the collarbones forward. Now as you exhale, you're keeping that flat back and you're hinging from the hips. Now once you're here, you'll take the hands in front of the chest and you'll allow the head to be heavy. The hands will work towards coming in between the feet. You may need to take a slight micro bend in the knees, but try keep the legs as straight as you can. Now eventually we're working to get the palm of the hands in between the feet and the crown of the head in between the feet. But just allow yourself to find your edge and then holding there. Breathing in and breathing out of the nose. We'll take an inhale, half lift, flat back, forward gaze. Exhale, take the hands to the mat. Heel toe the feet in until they're about hip distance apart. Toes are facing 45 degrees. Bend the knees, take them in line with the sit bones, and we're coming into Malasana Yogi Squat. We won't be here for long, don't worry, but we're just giving the hips a little bit of an opening. Just gently rocking through left and through right. It's really subtle movement. Now, last challenge of the day, I promise, is crow pose. So this is a really nice setup for crow pose, and it really builds up the strength in our arms. And again, it involves a little bit of balance. So keeping with today's theme, it's appropriate. How we do it is you take the knees to the back of the arms, okay? More or less in the direction of your armpits. Now the hands are flat on the mat and they're fanned to the front edge, okay? Now from here, coming onto the balls of the feet, just allow the weight to slightly shift forward, and you may see how it feels to lift one leg, placing that down, and then maybe see how it feels to lift the other. And then eventually we'll come to lift up both of the feet. The trick here is to really ground down into your hands, but keep a forward gaze because that's what allows you to stay steady. Once you look down or look behind, that's when your balance goes. So there's a few things going on here. So we have the knees in the back of the armpits, okay? Hands in front, ground down into the hands. Keep that forward gaze. Try keep your spine as long as you can. We'll first of all shift the weight into the front of the feet. We'll lift the sit bones up towards the ceiling, and then eventually when we lift up one leg, we might lift up the other. The toes come to touch. You're breathing and smiling. And as we exhale, we'll slowly come down to the mat. Okay. Very, very well done, guys. Well done. From here, just cross the legs, come into an easy seat, and we'll take a nice forward fold just to loosen out the lower back. So from here, take that inhale, arms reach up, gaze is up, spine is long. Exhale, allow yourself to take the hands in front, the palms onto the mat, and just grip the mat with your 10 fingers and slightly pull the collarbones forward. Now as you exhale, we'll take the hands away from the body and we'll repeat this here. So inhale, collarbones shine forward, and then as we exhale, take the hands away. Inhale here, and exhale, take the hands away. Inhale, gazes forward. And as you exhale, just take yourself closer to the mat. We're in absolutely no rush, so just inviting in that length on each side of the body. Keep the sit bones flat on the mat. Breathe in and breathe out of the nose. Stay exactly where you are, but just come up onto the fingertips and breathe through the separation in your shoulder blades. And as we inhale, we'll slowly ravel the spine, once again coming back to seat. And we will take a very easy twist. Just take the right hand behind the right hip and the left hand to the right knee. Lengthen through your spine and exhale, twist your gaze over that right shoulder. With each exhale, you're just slowly twisting a little bit more. As we inhale, we'll reach the arms up. Maybe the gaze comes up. Exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind left hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist and gaze over that left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take the hands behind the hips. Extend the legs out long. Now facing the hands the same direction as the feet, really ground up through the palm of the hands and plug the thighs into the mat. Now we're pointing the feet here and we're trying to get the soles of the feet on the mat. We're allowing the hips to come up towards the ceiling. If you have a sore neck, keep your gaze neutral, but if not, we will gently tip our necks back and keep the gaze behind us, okay? So just know yourself, if you do have a sore neck, keep the gaze neutral, but if not, see how it feels to take the gaze back, okay? So from here, grounding into the palm of the hands, we'll point the feet, we'll lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling, trying to get the soles flush, allow the gaze to come back, the neck to come back. If it allows, push up through the hands, take the hips up to the ceiling, take 3 breaths here, in and out of the nose. And as you exhale, we'll slowly and gently take the sit bones back, take the head back to center. Just give yourself a moment here. And when we're ready, we'll slowly take it onto the forearms. And from here, we'll take it all the way down to the mat. You'll finish with a very restorative, gentle bridge, and then we'll come down for Shavasana. So the feet are hip distance apart. You're just able to graze your heels with your fingers. Shoulders drop away from the ears, chin to chest to lengthen through the spine. Ground down through the base of the feet as you push the pelvis up towards the ceiling, drawing the knees and the thighs apart, pushing up, reaching up, chin to chest. Taking this as active as you need or want. If you want a little bit more, just take the feet closer in towards the body, or maybe come up onto the tippy toes, the balls of the feet. When we're ready, we'll slowly unravel the spine flush with the mat. Take the knees left and take them right, just window sill wipering to loosen out the lower back. And when we are ready, extend the legs out long, extend them away from you. Have the palm of the hands facing up towards the ceiling. Drop the chin to the chest and allowing yourself to come into rest. Allow your forehead to be soft, your jaw to be soft, your chest to be heavy, your hips to be heavy. Taking up as much space as you need as you fill the body up with breath. And just taking these moments of stillness to acknowledge the effort and the energy that you put into your practice. And staying here as long as you may need. That could be 5, 10, 15 minutes. Every day is different. If you're starting to move again, just slowly roll over towards your left side and the palm of the right hand will guide you back into an easy seat. We'll cross the legs. We'll take the hands facing up towards the ceiling, gently resting onto the knees. And taking the hands together in prayer, thanking the ancient tradition of yoga and whatever value it brings to you and your day. Closing with Om Shanti, peace to all, Namaste.